And I'll let that load for a moment and I'll come back to my calendar. So again, if I'm a student and I am on my, over here in my dashboard, I can go to every course. Jerry can assign me assignments. Jennifer can assign me assignments. I have lots of teachers who could assign me assignments. And on the right-hand side, it shows me as a student, these are all the things I need to do. And that's totally awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. But I can also just come to the calendar and see on the calendar, here's the lay of the land. I mean, think about your emails. When you receive emails every day with dates of times to meet with principals or other staff members, do you read the emails to find out when to go meet, or do you have calendar invites? And I typically run everything through my calendar. If you want to meet with me, invite me, put it in my calendar, and then I look at my calendar. This is really not much different than that. Let's take a look and see real fast. YouTube Live. For the rest of you who are at home, you're like, Chris, I would rather do YouTube Live because I don't want my students doing anything. And you can actually turn off chat right now. I think chat's on. It's public right now, and I can go ahead and actually turn it to become private if I want to. So the chat is on. I'm going to go ahead and move that over here in my other window. All right, so now let me come back and we'll come back here. So 3 steps: publish the course, and you can edit your course and then use your calendar. And as you see right now on this page, this is a teacher who's been, this is a 5th grade teacher who's been writing content for her 5th grade class. And then down below, this is a science teacher over at Mountain View who does amazing things with his students, and he drives instruction from the calendar. Chris, can I embed a Google document instead on the calendar? Yes, you can put your lesson plan for your students on a Google Doc in the calendar, and it's totally fine. Why not just post a video to Canvas Message? It seems like a lot of work to post live to YouTube. Oh, that's a great question. The reason why is because I'm going live. I don't feel comfortable with my whole class chatting in the Zoom window while I'm teaching a lesson. So I can give them a YouTube Live link. I can turn off chat instantly in the YouTube Live. I don't have to manage anything. I don't have to worry about photo bombing or Zoom bombing. And I can take that YouTube video and I can actually just put it live in the calendar. I can put it live on my course. She thinks, why make it live? Oh, I'm making it live because the reality is that what if people are somewhere else and I just want them to watch it? So I think I'm just a matter of just getting it out there for them. Is there a good video for students to watch a tour? Yeah, I'm so happy you asked that question, because believe it or not, in every single course, there is a student Canvas orientation module. And not only is there a student Canvas orientation module, but there is also, I don't mean to go off to the side, but I feel like I have to for a second because you are Beaverton High School. And so because of that, I want to show you something very specific to all of you friends. Beaverton High School. If you are a staff member of Beaverton High School, if you're not a staff member of Beaverton High School and you go to another school district, the same thing applies to you. In every school district, in every school, there is 2 courses that I made available for both teachers and students, depending on who you are. And I know that I'm kind of going off of my Canvas in 3 steps, but I just kind of bigger picture here. Oops, I apologize. I took the wrong one. This was going to be staff, and there, it should be this one right here. Beautiful. Here's the staff page. So if you're a Beaverton High School's teacher, you click on the dashboard and you will find Beaverton High School staff page. And on that page are these things right here: the resources, how to get the technology hub, a sample module, all of these things we put in. But also in addition to that, on this all staff page, and this goes for Conestoga, this goes for everything, every school in our district except for elementary, is a Canvas student orientation module, where I spent hours last year building this out, where it tells the students how to go through the process of using Canvas. And I hit on the most important things that we talked about today: the dashboard and the calendar and turning in assignments. So I've been doing my best to support our students and our staff with access to the stuff they need. Like just recently, we pushed out the staff thing that you see. I mean, the staff page has always existed, but just recently did we make some of the new adjustments, and same with students as well. So Chris, how do I get all this going? How do I do Canvas in 3 steps? Publish your course. You can edit if you want to. You can add assignments, or you can use calendar event. And I think somebody had asked the question, well, what if I just want to do assignments, Chris? This right here, example of a Flipgrid, this is an assignment where I had something my students do. So if you want to just do assignments, you're like, I'd rather just communicate and just give them assignments, you can do that. Is there an option that allows students to change the language? Students can change the language of Canvas. They can't change the language of instruction, but just to let you guys know, I'll come here and I apologize because you're going to see my monster size amount of work that I do as far as on my computer. So Google Translate is there. Okay, beautiful. I've installed what's called Google Translate, which you as a student can do as well. So translate this page and I can go ahead and translate it to, I know we have Jennifer on the line, so she's going to be like, oh, I could read the Spanish part, Spanish. So it takes the moment. The students and parents do have to go ahead and install this Chrome extension. But if you do the Chrome extension, it will, and Jennifer, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it does a decent job of translating, probably not an amazing job, but it does a decent job. So if I'm a teacher and I'm giving content to my students, even if it's something even if it's a Google document, because you have to remember, a Google document is just a website. That's all it is. They could translate that and put that in a language that they need as well. Okay, and you're like, well, Chris, okay, there's no way in this planet I'm going to remember all this stuff. I got you. Because not only can you go to the staff page of Beaverton, Conestoga, Whitford, you name it, all the middle schools, you can scroll down and you'll find out where we have the technology hub, which looks like this. Here is the modules we built. I've given you notes to all the webinars that we're doing. Here's the teacher source page that links to all the other upcoming trainings. And then, oh, Chris had mentioned translating tools. There it is right there. So giving you as much information as we can without bombarding you with emails. And if I was a principal of a school district, if I was a principal of a school, how I would do the following is I would use my staff course. I would email you and just communicate with you, but I would not bombard you with Google documents and links and stuff. I would simply put all that content in an organized fashion on the staff page. And the reason why is because after 6 or 7 emails, you've completely lost track of which email had the document that you needed. So this is where our teachers can go. You can use your Canvas staff page as the hub for your school staff. Everybody has access. Whoever has access can put stuff on the calendar. You have the ability to make this a little bit more of a calming environment. And you can also post videos. You're like, hey, Chris, if I want to do a Zoom video to my staff, can I put it here? Absolutely. Wayne, Jerry, and a few other people have access to this page as editors. Add another blue button down below and call it staff videos, and you can do that. All right. So I'm going to stop because I've gone way too much, and I apologize. Do you have any questions? We've got like 50 some people still hanging out with us. It's past our 30-minute deadline. You are more than welcome to hang out I'll hang out for another 15 minutes. If you want to go, that's awesome. I would suggest you do 2 things. Check out your staff page, Beaverton, Conestoga, Whitford, Southridge, you name it. And then that will lead you to the technology hub, which looks like this. And if you're like, ooh, Chris, where's the slides for today? Here they are right here, Canvas Basics. Chris had mentioned WeVideo or Adobe Spark. And this is always growing, so it's not perfected. And then Chris had mentioned how there's Teacher Source. We're doing more webinars today. Yeah, look at that. These are all the webinars just for today. Okay. All right, friends. Can I answer a few questions? Was there somebody who would like to go ahead and raise their hand, and then I can unmute you? Now there's 50 of you, so if you raise your hand, I might be a bit challenged to find out who you are, and I apologize. But do I have anybody? And Jerry, if you see somebody with their hand raised, or Jennifer or Wayne, you guys are the co-hosts, you guys can find them. But does anybody want to raise their hand? Does anybody want to ask a question for the good of the order? If you want to leave, have a fantastic day. I'm doing 4 other sessions today. Another Canvas Basics, and I think I'm doing Canvas for Communication, I think. Yeah, Bonnie, thank you very much. Leslie, can he hang out with you creating an email? Yeah, totally. And Jerry and Wayne, if you guys have to go, that's totally fine. Deborah's going to go ahead and raise her hand. All right, my friend, go ahead. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, and you're supposed to say long-time listener, first time.
Okay.
I'm totally teasing.
So I did my first screencast. I did the full card. She taught us out. It was really good.
Love it.
And now I have the file. I want to make sure that I'm going to link it to Canvas right. That's the next part for me.
Yeah, and there's quite honestly a few things that you could do that I feel like might make it easier. It depends. Do you want it in the calendar where you just want to introduce and say, hey, this is what we're doing today, or would you like it for an assignment? It really doesn't matter where you want, or even a discussion. Somebody had mentioned discussions. I'll just go to discussion, whether it be discussion, an assignment, or even the calendar. Regardless of what you click, I'll hit new. This window is the same window. And if you want the video here, you can go ahead and do files, and you can go where it says upload a file, and you can put the video that you recorded into that page for students to see. If it were me, you could also put all of your videos on a folder in Google that you might call whatever your classes that you're teaching. You just say class video files, and you can even put the link here and say, hey, today, I spelled it wrong, but today watch this video, and then you can put the link and you can highlight the link. And if it's from your Google Drive, you can actually click on here. You can go to Google Apps, and you can actually find the video and put the link right there. So if you're recording on a different device, you have to get it from your device. I would suggest just throw it in your Google Drive. Log in as a teacher on your Google Drive on your phone. If you're recording on your laptop, then you can go ahead and upload it to Google Drive in a folder, so organize it. And then you can go ahead and link, and I can go ahead and say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and put in a video and find how to add that. So hopefully that answers your question. I know I went a little bit fast, and the reason why is because we can go way more detail, but again, you can go ahead and choose whatever you find, click, and then hit link. And then now the students have access to that link. All right, friends, are there other people who would like to raise their hand? Oops, anybody else who wants to come out and hang out with us today? Okay. All right, I'm gonna hit record. I'm gonna hit stop record because I'm recording. Boom. So that being said, if you have something to do, take off. I have some other sessions today. I actually have an open Canvas session at 10 that I should probably make available for you. So if you want to hang out with me at 10 o'clock, I got to find my sessions here. Hold on, friends. You probably would not be impressed with my, there we go, good. Copy invitation. Okay, so in the chat box, there is, it's a gigantic chat, I apologize, but in the chat, you're going to see where it says Zoom meeting. So at 10 o'clock, I'm doing an open session. If you want to come and just hang out at 10, I'll do my best to answer questions. All right, with that being said, I've stopped recording. I'm still, somebody asked, why are you doing live? We're still doing live. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and turn my live off as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and hang up. And there we go. All right, friends, have a fantastic day. I know that you got some messages. Is there any way I can email? Oh, all my kids. Yes, thank you. Somebody had asked about email. I apologize. Let me go to here. And if you click on inbox, your inbox will open up. And then on the right-hand side, you can click on the pencil and you can choose your course, and you can email all of your students at one time. And you could even email individual students if you want to as well. I don't have more than courses like you all have, but you can email students. So again, inbox, and then send that message to students through the inbox. And if you forget, I can go to the help desk. You as staff can go to help, and you can go ahead and click on chat, or right here where it says search the guides. And you can click on search the guides, and I can say inbox. And it's okay to do a search and say, ooh, I want to know how to go ahead and use the inbox. I think I sent the message to a private message, and I apologize for that. There we go, good. that is how you do the inbox. And this is the Zoom link to my 10 o'clock session. So that being said, Leslie, I hope that answered your question as far as going to the inbox and sending message. If you are not a classroom teacher, you're an IA and you don't have students, you won't be able to message those students. Teachers will have to invite you to be part of that course. All right. Do you have 10 minutes from me? Let's do it. So if you're okay with that, I would love to talk with you, Anne, no problem. And the rest of you, you guys have a fantastic day. And I think, Anne, if you're still hanging out in this session, yeah, you are. I'm going to dismiss all of you. Jerry, 100,000 thank yous. Wayne, 1,000,000 thank yous. And Jerry, 1,000,000 thank yous. And Jennifer, thank you so much for helping out. Yeah, you guys are fantastic. And we can chat. You guys let me know, and we're happy to chat. All right. So I'll let you guys dismiss yourselves, and I will try to go ahead and remove people right now. All right. Bye, friends. Hopefully this was worth your time. That's what I want to say. I love it. All right. Can you hear me? All right. Hey, Anne, are you there? Oh, sorry.
Mute me. Yep.
There you go.
All right.
You're good? Okay.
I'm good.
Here, let me stop my screen. I'm sharing a screen and I want to hit stop. And then I have to look, because I have like, people don't know, but I've got like 3 monitors going at the same time. So that's what, there we go.
Great. Thank you so much. You know, I think we're fortunate that we're just going to kind of, what we've been trying to remind people is next week is practice, right?
I think it's a good term for that.
And just let's practice.
Connecting with your students.
Yeah, you know,
yeah.
The other, and this isn't about what I want to do, but the other advantage we have, I don't know why, I guess because despite appearances to the contrary, I am a pretty rule follower. And so when the district says everyone needs to be on Canvas, we actually had quite a few. We didn't have that many who had to do it right before the closure.
What was interesting is that Maria had contacted me and asked me, which by the way, I'm thank you for having her reach out. I appreciate that. But she had said like only 18% of her staff felt comfortable. And I was like, whoa.
That's not, where did she get that?
I don't know. And that's what I'm like,
Oh,
I can tell you that over 60% of the core content in Beaverton High School are published courses.
Oh, I know where she might have gotten it. We did a survey
Okay.
of, we only asked people to do 3 things on Monday this first week. And one of them was complete a survey. And some of it was about like, how are you and your family? And then how do you feel comfortable about these?
Right.
But everyone had a Canvas page. Sure, they may not have been comfortable, but we were in a position where, because 2 years ago, the district said everyone's got to be on Canvas. I said, okay, everybody's got to be on Canvas. And then this year it was everyone's got to have their syllabus and their calendar. Yeah. Now, did everybody get there? No, but our shift wasn't that hard. The other piece that I think we have is a huge advantage, huge, is Timon's teacher source page. Everything's there. We're the only high school with a teacher source page. And so we've been using, he had all the remote learning stuff ready to go, or maybe it automatically got dropped on the teacher source.
It did, I think. It automatically got dropped in.
He's just been adding stuff as we've been posting it. And then he is running this Canvas staff page. I'm sure lots of schools have that. But that's
I made it show. I've been made that available for 3 years now, but it's only been more recent where schools have kind of woken up to the power of that Canvas course.
Yeah. So between teacher source and Canvas, I feel like people have access, but it's them getting used to it, right?
Yeah. And that's the big thing too, is, we're still used to emailing and emailing documents, and that's totally fine. But the reality is that's going to be too difficult. And so if the teacher knew there's one place, even if you put things in Google Docs, that's okay. You could still put the link on the course, right? And then it's okay, right? Like, because it's like you've gotten emails, and after 5 emails, you're already buried. You don't remember what that email is.
I don't know sometimes I can't remember which folder I put in.
Absolutely, 100%. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
I've gone way beyond the ability to manage that. The fire I was pretty good about keeping up on filing, answering, deleting emails, and then the campus tried to burn down. And
right, I know. This has been a really tough year for you.
Pandemic, all in one semester.
Right.
So let me tell you what I want to try to do.
Okay.
We have this thing called Beaver Congress. So teachers in Beaver Lodge will have a topic. They'll talk about it, kind of get the sense of what people, and some of it's fun and some of it's serious. And then they send somebody from each of those Beaver Congresses, or from Beaver Lodge to Beaver Congress by grade level.
Mhm.
So kids are used to having conversation, well, used to relatively, and then used to having this feedback where they can send stuff and then it gets talked about. We don't attend those Beaver Congresses because we want kids to be able to speak freely. And then those Beaver Congress reps then come and give me information, and any VPs who want to sit in, but they generally don't, about what are we hearing from the students. Okay, so
Yeah. Yes.
having said that, kids are used to having we're trying to get a back and forth. I know that kids are worried, confused, frustrated, don't think they're going to be able to figure this out. Our original plan, so those 4 kids, they're grade level kids, were willing to come alongside me and be a co-host of a Zoom chat. We were going to do it today, and I said, let's wait and let kids kind of, let students experience school, and then I think they'll really have the questions they really have. So we're probably going to do it Tuesday, but I don't want to be Zoom bombed, and I don't want to have 300 kids on video. And so I just need, and I looked at the thing that you set out about settings, and I just want your advice about, one, is it possible? Should I do it through something other than Zoom, like a Canvas conference? And what would the settings be, and how do I help kind of, I'm going to be talking, and my co-host, whether it's Scott or Riley, talking, and then somebody's going to have to manage the chat like you had. So I don't know. What do you think? Is it possible?
I feel like Zoom meeting is great for small groups, and for larger groups, obviously you need more co-hosts because you can have more people manage the conversation. What I can do as the host is I can actually turn people's videos off, and then they can't turn them back on. Right. But I actually have to go to each person and turn them off. I can mute everybody at the same time. Yeah. But so if I had multiple people, then I could have a co-host doing that. But here, the couple of things are, one, the link is going to be shared to students somehow. No. Right. Right. And nothing's going to stop them from copying and pasting that link and sharing it. No, there's no requirement, even though it's in Canvas, all it takes is a student to go Canvas, copy, mass email or mass tweet, right? And we already know that's happening. And a password is the same thing, because how are you going to get a password to a student that's not going to be so unique that no one else can use it? Because even though Zoom could require a password, it's one password for the room, not passwords per person. So we're still back to the square one. So if it were me, you could do Canvas conference, but I don't believe you can have that many people. You're not going to have their faces, which is totally fine. You'll have just yours or somebody else's. The other option was, one of the reasons why I did the YouTube live is because if it's just more a matter of, I would love for students to go ahead and just kind of listen. And I know the engagement of having them respond back is super important, but at least in the YouTube live, it's not going to be bombed. You're not going to have individuals. Now you can leave the chat aloud in the YouTube channel. And they're gonna, and you run the risk of having inappropriate stuff, but at least they can't add images. They can't jump into the Zoom right now and be inappropriate. And you probably heard the story of Zan. I don't know if you did, but he tried to do one, I think a day or two ago, and there was some colorful things that took place. And again, part of it was, we try to make it private, but the moment we publish our link to a student, they can copy and paste. So and even I could turn off my videos, and that's fine. But if somebody shows up late or just, and I have a waiting room, well, now I'm going to individually let I know hundreds of people. So I have some settings in place, but those settings aren't necessarily for like 200 people. Now we do have what's called a webinar. So we have a webinar platform, which I can help you with, because we only have one, so I can run it and do the co-host. But it allows up to 300 people. They're only in listening mode, and the chat function can be enabled or disabled. Like if you've ever done a webinar online, it's the same kind of learning experience.
And so do their questions show up or not?
Their questions will show up in the chat. And that's the problem, is that it's great that the questions show up in the chat, but the issue would be, so if it were me, here's what I might do.
Am I making you late? No, these are your
No.
office hours.
I'll get up, yeah, and say, if it were me, I might do this. I might consider doing the YouTube live. And I might consider giving students another place, like
Yeah,
turning off YouTube
Right.
live chat, but
Right.
giving them another place to do the chat. And then what you can do is, even though that chat might become inappropriate, it's not public on your Zoom.
Right.
Nobody can see it, but here's what you can do. You can copy and paste big questions. And you can take those big questions or those concerns and bring them into a space where now everybody can see those questions. So it is another option
right.
of doing
Where's
that.
the other place to hold the chat?
I think you could use, there's a few out there. One's called, I'll have to look for a few. There's a few other chat spaces out there that are online. And again, the problem with online is they're anonymous. But
Well, but we just don't, I'm not going to
You-
answer.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you could take the gems and just have the gems showing up, and then eventually that can go away. And we used to do one called Today's Meets, but they've gone away. And so now I need to find an alternative. And I think the alternative is called,
A student sent me one yesterday called,
and there's a bunch that's true. The other thing too is you could do it on Twitter.
yeah,
I mean, you
She
could
sent
literally,
me-
so if they sent you a back channel, and the back channel is that, yes, it's public, but you are taking the ones that you want to showcase, like you have that control.
right, Discord is what she sent.
No, don't use Discord.
Right, I already asked Pep and he hasn't gotten back to me, so
Yeah,
don't.
the
use
answer is no. Discord is great if you're on the dark web and for hackers and for
Okay.
gamers.
Oh, okay,
But
Right.
the problem I have with things like that is, the more accounts we ask our students to access and create accounts for, the more open they are to complete hacking and meltdown. Because what's going to happen is Discord or some other company is going to get hacked, and all their data is going to be pushed on the internet. And so I just think if we can, and I know it's anonymous, but I don't run the risk of losing my own personal information being hacked. And it's for somebody who last year in February, for 3 straight days, our life was a living hell. We were hacked for 3 straight days.
yeah.
And
So,
we're talking
I'll let-
thousands of dollars being
So I'll let
moved.
you go, but so YouTube Live, and then they could have a Google Doc where they could be dropping questions.
No, because Google
No.
Doc allows for photos and images. You want just something that
No, but no, they're not going to see. Oh, yeah, they would see it because they're
You-
shared on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you could take the Google document and you could share the screen when you have a question that you pulled open and you have it like written in large font. Here's
That's
a
what I
question
mean.
we received from our audience, but the chat still takes place somewhere else.
That's what I mean. So have
Yes.
the YouTube Live
Yes.
chat, and if you've got a question, send it to this Google
Yep.
form.
Yeah.
And
To-
somebody is watching those and bringing.
Yeah, and somebody's watching them. Yeah, and the YouTube Live thing, you do have to have someone who's going to be the host. So
Yeah.
that's somebody's Zoom account, and it's 24 hours for the YouTube Live thing to take place. So you want to do that today. If I can,
What do you mean take place? Take root?
it takes 24 hours for the Zoom YouTube Live to become active. Like, you have to basically set up your YouTube channel. You're using your Beaverton School District channel, but you have to set it up so that you're able to go ahead and do a YouTube live stream. So it could be you or a colleague, and you could be co-hosting, but you do need somebody. I just said the article, but you do need somebody to set that up today. You can practice on Monday just with your few colleagues. I mean, that's why I was showing it to you, because I knew
Yeah.
you were here. I just
Yeah.
wanted to give you an alternative.
Great. All right. So do you set that up? Do I have to set it up?
You would have
I
to
don't-
set that up, yeah. Or talk to Wayne. I mean, by all means, communicate with Wayne. Say, hey, Wayne, I'd love to get this set up. So anyways, thank you for letting me hang out with your staff. I appreciate it. And I
Yeah,
think
thank
I
you.
can't imagine how you're feeling, but thank you for doing the things you're doing.
Well, thank you. I can't imagine how you all are doing. You've done great work and we appreciate it. And, we're all doing the best we can. So,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
all right, take care.
Thank you.